Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Andrea and this is Beauty with Andy. Thank you for joining me today, it really does mean a lot. So today we're going to be using this little palette. So this is the Revolution Reloaded Provocative palette, and this one is the newest one in my collection. Is that picking up? I can't see with the light. Yeah, it's the newest one in my collection. I've got about 8 of these. A couple are dupes for the ABH palettes, so I will be bringing them out soon. I do want to just see if I need all of them in the collection or whether I can declutter a couple, pass them on to family members. So this is what this palette looks like, and I got this one because it's got all these gorgeous like dusty rose shades and it just looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? So I thought I'd get it and have a bit of a play with it. This is £5. They used to only be £4, but like with most companies, Primark do it as well, which I don't necessarily agree with. If they see a product is doing really well, they put the price up a little bit. I mean, £1 is neither here nor there, but they used to be £4. Like all my other ones were £4. This one was £5. So what we're going to be doing first is just putting a bit of concealer on, finding the brush that I use and just blending that in. Now I've seen a few people on YouTube saying that they're going to stop doing their Shop My Stash videos. Like a lot of them do monthly Shop My Stash videos, though, that they're going to stop doing it. Because they're in quarantine and they don't wear a lot of makeup, they only wear it for YouTube. So they're going to stop doing it. They're going to do like a Shop My Stash for 3 months instead of a month. But I'm personally not going to do that. I'm still going to continue to do my Shop My Stash videos every week. I do wear makeup, not every single day I've noticed, but I do wear makeup because I do like to play with makeup, especially eyeshadow palettes that I've not used. So yeah, I do really like that. So yeah, I'm not going to stop it. Why stop something if you really enjoy it? So yes, and I also like doing the looks on the camera with the products that I pulled as well for the week. I've started doing that recently. I'm just trying to find my brush. This one I need first. Just the Real Techniques one, and what we're going to do, we're going to go in with this shade here. They don't have shades in, they just have numbers. So that one is number 12. Some of them have like stars on them, and I don't know why, because they're not like press glitters or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know why. If anyone does, leave me a comment down below. I'll just show it to you. Like, can you see the stars on the palette there? Yeah, and the mass, which is a little bit strange. So as always with a shade like this, I'm just putting it all over the eyelid. Right, what shall we do? What matte shall we do? I want to go in with this peach one here, which is shade number 14, and again that's got a star by it. Well, not really a star, it's an asterisk. Oh, that eyeshadow blends out really nice. Just a slight wash of colour. Just gonna build it up a little bit. Yeah, it's a really nice shade, that. Right, so then I want to use one of these duskier pinks, so we'll go in with this shade here. That shade is 4, and again it's got an asterisk by it. I don't understand why. I wonder if it's, I mean, it doesn't tell me on the palette or anything, but I wonder if it's, those are the ones that actually mark your eyelids. Sometimes companies put that on if they mark your eyelids. There's just nothing on the palette that says why it's there. It says pressed pigments, but obviously they're the shimmers and not the mattes. I don't know, this... I think that's better. If I was a little bit blurry at the start, then I'm sorry about that, guys. Just still really trying to get used to this camera. Right, let's blend them in a little bit. Because the shades are so similar, I feel like you get a very similar look out of this palette. We've kind of pretty much all of the shades, but we'll see. Let's use this darker shade here, just out in the outer corner. Putting it through the crease a little bit. There is a little bit of a kick up in some of these mattes, but not much. Right, and then we'll just do a shimmer. Now this is a toughie. Maybe this one here, which is number 7. That's got a star by it as well. So this is a pressed pigment. That looks beautiful, guys. Can you hear the birds chirping away outside? It's still really early. It's about 9:30 in the morning. Normally I don't film this early. Right, so let's blend them out. Right, now we're going to go in with that cream ivory shade again. Number 12. See, that's a matte, but it doesn't have an asterisk by it. So I'm wondering if it's basically putting asterisks by ones that could potentially dye your eyelids. I don't know. I'm going to check all my other reloaded palettes and see if they're the same. Right, and then we've got to find an inner corner highlight. So there isn't really many inner corner highlights. What you could use is an inner corner highlight. There's that one, and we'll use this one here. So that one is, I think, 10. Yeah, 10. And again, that one doesn't have an asterisk by it either. Got stuff on my eye here. I really like this look. It's super pretty and feminine. Reminds me of a look that I could potentially do out of my Urban Decay Naked Free palette. So yeah, it's because it's got those like rose gold eyeshadows in them, and if I feel like I can do similar looks, I think I'm going to declutter the Naked Free and buy it at a later date when there's a sale on, just because they are getting older now, so they're not working as well as they used to. So yeah, let's go into look number 2. Right guys, so I put the concealer down and I put that cream ivory shade down here. So now we're just going through the decision process of what to do for look number 2. Right, so I used that one. So I think we'll go in with this shade here, which is quite similar. That one's just more peachy toned. So we'll use that as a transition shade. If I can find my brush. Yeah, this one's just a little bit darker. A really nice transition shade. Crease shade. Then what I'm going to do when I get to look 3 is do what I normally do. Go off camera, put all my makeup on, and then we'll choose a look to do. It's just, you've seen, like, you would have seen, I don't know, yeah, by the time I put this up, you would have seen all my Shop My Stash products, because yeah, so on Sunday a video is going to go up called Second Chance Sunday, so that's going to have all the products, like Project Pan products. It's going to have all the products that were on the chopping block, so you'll get to see my makeup in action there anyway, so it's pointless keep going over the same makeup that I'm applying, because I've done 2 videos on that now. So yes, what I'll do is just go off camera, put my makeup on, and we'll come back and do the eyeshadows, the third look. So let's just get back into this second look. Just blend this out a little bit. There isn't really any more mattes that I haven't used apart from this brown one, and I don't want to use that brown one, so I'm just going to go in with this one, just all over the crease. That one is number 1. Again, it's got an asterisk. I think that's what it is, guys. I think they put asterisks now it's nowhere on the palette, but they put asterisks on the ones that could dye your eyelids. I'm going to have a look at the palette in a minute and just see what the lighter shades, if the lighter shades have got any asterisks on them, but I don't think they do. I think it's just the darker shades. Right, and then let's just get that cream ivory shade, put it in the brow bone. Again, it's looking like the look from number 1, even though I've used completely different eyeshadows apart from this crease shade. I used that one there, which was that one in the first look, and then I've used that one in the second look, and then that one. Let's use this one here all over the lid. So that's number 10. And we used that in the inner corner before. Right, so right off the bat there's not as much pigmentation as there was with the other shade, with that shade there, number 7. But I wouldn't expect there to be, it's a far lighter shade. It's a nice shade for that everyday eye, I think, everyday eye look. You wouldn't have to take too much care in putting this eyeshadow on. It's a really, really pretty champagne gold colour. Right, and because we've used that, where's that tissue? Ow, my neck. Because we've used that all over the eyelid, we're going to have to use the other lighter colour in the inner corner. If I can find the brush. Yeah, it's here, hiding away. Why do I keep looking at my Charlotte Tilbury quad? So yeah, this one. This one is the lightest shade in the palette. Again, quite golden toned. It's very similar to that shade, but that one's probably a hair or 2 darker, and that one's probably more sheer, so it does make that good inner corner highlight. Right, so now let's just blend them all out. Really, but this like lid colour is definitely one that you have to build up. Or use a glitter glue with it. I think that would work just as well, or kind of use some setting spray and dampen your brush. But yeah, like just going in with the fingers, normally it makes a big impact if you do that, but I've had to go in a few times, as you've just seen. But yeah, I really do like this look, just as I liked look number 1. So yeah, let's put on all the face makeup. You'll see the transformation, and then we'll go into look number 3. Ta-da! Right, so I've got my base on, I've got my foundation, I've got my blusher and my highlight, my brows are done. Yeah, so we'll put the eyeshadow on and we'll do the mascara and the eyeliner and the lipstick, and then we'll be done. So I was just going through the palette and I was thinking, well, what can I use that I've not already used? I've used quite a lot of the shimmers. I've used this shimmer here, so that one was number 7. I've used number 8 here. I've used number 10. So then I went down, there's only 2 shimmers on the bottom row. I went down and I thought, well, should I use this? But that is the kind of shade that I always tend to use. I'm always gravitating towards. There's also that shimmer there actually, but again, it's a little bit too dark, so I thought I would go with this one. I never go for shades like that. I don't really like burgundy eyeshadow on me, but yeah, let's do it because we've used all the other eyeshadows. So let's clean the brush off. Right, so what are we going to go in with first? Let's just go in with this shade here. That's number 4. Yeah, so I've just put the concealer down and then that white cream shade. Again, I really like this eyeshadow, this shade. Really, there's only this one that's drawing my attention, which is a slightly darker shade, so we'll use that as well. Just to build that colour up. What I'm feeling like doing with that shade is going in with that shade all over the lid. I might see how that looks and then using that other shimmer over the top of it, almost like an eyeshadow topper. So yeah, let's do that. I never put mattes into the crease and all over the lid, but I've been doing it lately and it looks nice. Again, it's another one that you've got to build up. I don't mind doing that with the more inexpensive palettes. It's when it comes to high-end palettes that I really have a problem doing it with, like the Chloe Morello and Ciate London palette. For the set that I got, it was £45. I didn't pay £45 for it, but it was £45 and then it went down to either 20 or 25, and that's what I paid. So, and the majority of the eyeshadows I just don't like, so yeah, that was a waste of money. Part of me wants to use that lighter shade just to buff it out a little bit. Let's see how that looks. It's looking a bit better. I don't like it too bright. But now I've lost some pigmentation in the eyeshadow, so we're going to go back in and just build it up on the lid a little bit more. Sharpen that edge out a little bit. Right, so now we're going to do the same thing on the other eye. Again, dipping into that eyeshadow there. And then that one there. That one's got the most fallout. Oh, to the crease. Right, let's use the cream ivory shade. The left side out as well with that lighter shade a little bit. I actually like that. We're just going to put this shimmer all over the lid. So that's number 15, and again it's got an asterisk by it. Really beautiful shade. It blends in really nicely to the eyeshadow that I've just put down. Do you know the darker shade here? Practically the same shade, practically the same eyeshadow, but it's a shimmer. It's a good palette this, guys, if you can get hold of it. I would highly recommend it if you like rose toned eyeshadows. I think I'm going to blend it in a little bit more. Right, that looks nice actually. I think I might also put some of the eyeshadow just on the lash line. I think I'm just going to do this shade though. I'm not going to do them both. I'll just do that darker shade. My eyes are watering. Right, so I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to put some more here. They're just watering for the minute, so I'm just going to let that dry. I'm going to put some mascara on. This is the brow pencil I pulled out. This has gone into Project Pan. It's what I'm wearing now. It's the Brow Define eyebrow pencil with a blending brush, and it's from Makeup Academy. Just one of the older ones in my collection, so I just want to use it all up. Right, let's see if that eye's dry enough for me to put a little bit more eyeshadow on, because we also need to do the inner corner highlight. It's just going to have to do. I've got fallout as well, so I need to sweep that away. Right, and we need to clean this brush off. I'll just do it on the back of my hand, so I can put some inner corner highlight on. We'll just choose this shade here. I'm always wearing this lately, but I'm going to wear it with this eye look because it's got the kind of same undertone. Very pink. So yeah, I think it will look nice. Let's see. Yeah, I really like that with this lipstick. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to change my battery because this battery is flashing at me, and then we're going to go into swatches and all that good stuff, and I'll talk about the palette and the asterisks and see if I'm right about the fact that if I'm right they should only be on the darker shades. If I'm wrong and they're on lighter shades, then I don't know what's going on with the palette. So yeah, we'll just jump into it, and I'll see you soon. Right, so let's do the swatches on this beautiful rose toned palette. Now, if you like rose toned eyeshadows like me, this is going to be your best friend, I think. It's really good. Well, the eyeshadows that I've used is really good. I tend to stay away from the brown toned eyeshadows, but we'll just see what the swatch like. So we're going to go into number 1, and we're going to do like first row, second row and third row like I always do when I'm doing these videos. So that's number 1. Quite pigmented. Number 2 is the brown. That's really pigmented. Didn't use that one. That would make a good liner for me. Oh, got an eyeshadow everywhere. Number 3 is this kind of, it is like a cream shade, but it's got more brown in it than this one. So it'll be interesting to see how that swatches. Very smooth to the touch. That's what it looks like. Right, So yeah, it's the same shade as my skin. I definitely don't think you need both of them in the palette. Can you even see? Yeah, you can just about make it out there. Number 4 is this one here. It's one of my favourite matte eyeshadows. It's just a really nice rosy pink. I'm not going to swatch it again because I've not swatched any of the other ones twice. So that's that one there. Number 5 is another brown toned one. This one is lighter though than that one. So let's see. It's quite nice, considering I don't like brown toned eyeshadows. So that's it there. It's not like a crease shade. It's a little bit darker, but I think it would look nice if you shaded it out, if you didn't put too much on your brush. So I'll try that next time. So yeah, that's all the eyeshadows. That's the first row. Oops, that's my colour switch gone. So now we're just going to move into the second row. Just make sure that hand's dry. Otherwise I'll ruin my eyeshadows. Right, so we're starting with this one. This one I didn't use either. It just looks too dark, but let's see what it looks like. It's like a brown, but like with a plum undertone. That's what it looks like. Looking at it now, it looks like a copper with a rose undertone, doesn't it? I'm not very good at describing, but that's what it looks like to me. The next one is this one. We use this one. Oh, that one's just beautiful. So that's number 7. Let's wash these swatches off my fingers. Number 8 is this one here. So that's the champagne one I've got in my inner corner at the moment. Oh, that's so pretty. It's not that pigmented though, is it? That's it there. So let's just do another swatch on that one. I know I said I wasn't going to do any more swatches. We're just working with natural daylight as well now, so it's a little bit different. So that's number 3. Sorry, number 8. Once we've done this row, I'm going to go away and charge the light up for a bit because I don't like this lighting at all. Then we've got number 9. This one here, we didn't use that either. That's a brown, like a brown shimmer. So that one there. And then the last one in the second row is this other one, which is like a champagne gold as well, and I used that for the inner corner before. That one there. So that's the 5 on the second row. I'm just going to go away for, I don't know, half an hour and charge my external light, and then I'll be back to do the third row and we'll talk about my thoughts on the palette. Hi guys, so at this point it's several hours later, so we were just talking about this palette and doing the swatches, so I'll just finish doing the third row. So it's just this bottom row here. Right, so we've got a nice brown there. That looks really pretty actually. It's like a really dusky rose brown. So it's just that one there. Right, and then we've got that cream ivory shade that I like to use. I prefer that one to that one. I don't believe that you need both of those eyeshadows in the palette. I'm just putting that out there. They could have put a different one in. I'll just do a couple of swatches of that one because you probably won't see it on my skin tone because it's the same shade. For people with deeper skin tones, that would probably make a really good matte highlight for your brow bone. I use it like for brow bone as well, or like inner corner. If you like an inner corner highlight that's matte, you could use that as well. So it's just that one there. Then this one. So we've swatched 11 and 12, so we're now on 13. That was a shade I was going to use today instead of the one that was all over my eyelid. which is really, really nice. It's like a copper tone rose shade. Number 14. That's really good as well. We used that in the first look. I'll just do another swatch because it's looking really light. That's that one there. And then that's the one we used in the last look, hence this look what I'm wearing now, and that's 15. And that is just so pigmented, so that looks like that. So that's all 15 eyeshadows. Let's just wipe these off my hands. Yeah, that's all. That's not very good. Right, so that's all 15 eyeshadows swatched. Every eyeshadow in this palette looks really pretty, even the darker shades, so I will give them a try as well, and I'll bring you an update either on Monday if I've used it a little bit more. But there are a few shades in the Chloe Morello Pretty Fun and Fearless palette that I want to try, so if that's the case I might leave this out for another week, but we will be pulling another eyeshadow palette as well. So let's talk about the palette. It is such a beautiful eyeshadow palette. It's every girl's dream if they like these kind of tones, and I personally love them. It's just absolutely beautiful, and you know, I love those dusky rose pink shades. So yeah, that's really beautiful. The thing that confused me is the asterisks by certain eyeshadows, and Makeup Revolution haven't really explained that on the palette. So let's talk about that. And right, so number one, you can kind of see why it would be an asterisk there, because some eyeshadows like leave a tint on your eyes, and that could be one of them because it is a darker shade. So that's that one. And then we've got number 4, which is this one. Again, it's another darker shade, but it's not too dark, so it shouldn't really tint your eyes. And then number 5, which again is the brown, which is a dark eyeshadow again. So yeah, you can kind of understand it. So far it's telling, basically, it's out of all like this row here, it's saying it's the darker shades, but it isn't saying, there isn't an asterisk by this really dark brown, which you would think if it's leaning towards, like, you know, the dark eyeshadows there are problems with, then you would think there would be an asterisk beside number 2 as well, but there isn't. There's not an asterisk beside number 2 or number 3, just 1, 4 and 5. And then we go on to the middle row, so 6 and 7. There's an asterisk by this, which again you can understand it because it's a darker shade. Then number 8, this is where it gets confusing. It's so light, I don't understand why there's an asterisk beside that. It's not a pressed glitter or anything like that. It doesn't really have texture, so yeah, that's confusing. And then number 9 and number 10, that's really that's really dark, so you would think there would be an asterisk there. There isn't, and there's not an asterisk there either, and that's darker than that one. So it can't be a factor of, you know, the darker eyeshadows actually tint, you know, put that tint on your eyelids. So there must be another reason why there's those asterisks there. I would love it if someone could explain it to me, because I'm actually putting these eyeshadows on my eyes. And then we've got 11, so they're saying this one has got an asterisk by it as well, which again isn't that dark. Number 12 and 13 don't have, and that is quite dark, so again it can't be for the factor of, you know, the dark eyeshadows, because that's quite a dark eyeshadow. That doesn't have an asterisk by it. And 14 and 15 do. I mean, that's really light, you know, so I'm confused as why these have asterisks by them, and I just wish they would have put something on the eyeshadow palette, I'm just going to go and get a couple of my other eyeshadow palettes, the reloaded ones, and see if we can establish if they do that as well, because I've not noticed, but then I've not looked into it in great detail. So, you know, normally I just put eyeshadows on my eyes. It was only for the fact that I was showing you that it was a reloaded Provocative palette, and I saw those asterisks there, so I can't understand why they're there, to be honest. Right, so we've got a whole bunch of them. Right, I'm going to go through every single palette with you. I think this was one of my newer ones, but I have had it a while. So this one is the Revolution Velvet Rose. Right, none of those eyeshadows on here have asterisks by them. So that's that one. Right, then we've got the Affection palette. Reloaded Affection, again, none of them have asterisks by them. Then we've got the Reloaded Passion for Colour, looks like that, very beautiful that one. No asterisks. This is really confusing. Then we've got the Revolution Reloaded Deep Dive. There is no asterisks. Then we have the Reloaded Visionary, beautiful, no asterisks. Then we have the Revolution Reloaded Neutrals 2. This one doesn't even have a graph on it with the numbers. That's one of the older ones that I picked up, and this one's the same. So yeah, these two are the dupes for the ABH palettes. This is Subculture, and this one I can't remember what. It was the first one that they brought out. I'll have to check out the name because I've completely forgot about it. So that's a dupe for that one, and then this one's a dupe for Subculture, and again, no graph. Just says it's the Reloaded Iconic Division. So can you see my confusion? How like that one has got like asterisks by the numbers. I just don't get it. I mean, I'd love for someone to say, well, it's because this and this reason. I might reach out to Revolution and see if they can let me know what the issue is with it, because obviously I'm putting it on my eyes, so I need to know what the problem is. But yeah, other than that, it is such a beautiful palette, guys. I would highly recommend it, but obviously if there's an issue with it, which I need to find out, then I might not be using it again. But yeah, I mean, there's asterisks all over the place. I mean, Colourpop put asterisks on their palettes when there's like pressed glitters in it, just to say, you know, it's like unsafe for your eyes. Surely like half the palette can't be unsafe for your eyes. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's like half the eyeshadow palette has got these asterisks by it, and you only get 15 eyeshadows, and there's 7 of them actually have those asterisks by it. Surely it can't be a case of like the majority of the eyeshadows are unsafe for you to use them. But yeah, other than that, I did really enjoy using it. I'm going to look into it, see if there's anything on the internet. If there isn't, I'm going to reach out to Revolution and maybe they can answer that for me. Like I said, it is on the newer side, and maybe maybe they'll start putting things like that on, but they don't explain it anywhere on the eyeshadow palette. It just says net weight 15 times 0.04 ounces, 1.1 grams. Just says it's Revolution Beauty and gives the address. Cruelty and vegan free. At pressed pigment. Oh! Yeah! The asterisks it says pressed pigment, and it's basically saying it's got the stars by it. So everything by the asterisk, like that, looks like a star. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but it's just here. Can you see that? It's saying pressed pigment, so it basically is saying that you know, if it's got an asterisk by it, it's eye unsafe. It's got a person's eye there, and it's pretty much saying use them at your own risk. So half the eyeshadow palette is unsafe, is what they're trying to tell us. That is beyond. That's not cool at all. Why put like all these eyeshadows in if they're not safe to use? I mean, I've not had any problems with the eyeshadow palette at all. You could understand it from glitters and things like that, but these aren't glitters, and the mattes aren't pressed pigments, the matte eyeshadows. So why they're saying, you know, that's eye unsafe, I don't know. But yeah, we got to the bottom of it eventually. So yeah, that is the case with this eyeshadow palette. So I don't know if I would recommend it then, considering half the eyeshadows aren't. They don't recommend using half the eyeshadows. But this is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts about this palette down below, and if you've tried it or not, and what you think about it. But yeah, I really enjoyed using it, and I loved using this. This is a gorgeous colour. So this is the Mellow Beautiful, and looks gorgeous with this eye look, I think. So yeah, we're going to leave this here. Otherwise it's just going to get far too long. I'm going to go and edit it and put it up, and then I need to crack on with another video, which the video that I'm going to be filming next is all the products that I've bought this year so far. So it's like a 4-monthly, like from January to April, it's like 4 monthly worth of products, so we'll talk about them. I didn't think I'd bought as much as I had, to be honest, but yeah, I'm on a low buy, so yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, I've not bought much from like March to April, just because like we've been on this lockdown for the last 3 weeks, and it said on the news yesterday that it's expected to last at least another 3 weeks, so we're expected to stay in for another month at least, which is, I understand why they're doing it, but it's a little bit depressing now, isn't it, guys? How are you all coping with that? I hope you're well. So yeah, we'll leave it here, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.